So should you start by getting an LLC or a virtual address first? Well, today we're going to be breaking down just that here soon, so be sure you stay tuned. Now, for those of you guys who already know about the actual process that I'm going to break down in terms of how you go about setting all this up, I don't want to waste your time. The answer is always gonna be start with a virtual address first. So if that's all you came for, thanks for watching. Be sure you hit that subscribe button and you have a good day. Now, if you wanna know why and quickly the exact process that I follow, be sure you keep listening. Now, as you heard me just say, my choice is always gonna be a virtual address first because of the privacy issues if you put your personal address onto an actual public filing. Now, the gist of it is this. When you sign up for an LLC, certain information that you put during the registration process is going to be public information, right? In case someone wants to know exactly where your business address is, if they want to send you certain mail, or if they want to send you legal mail, right? Someone's trying to sue you, or someone's trying to send you some tax information. All your information is going to be public, or certain addresses are going to be public record, and they're going to be able to pull that up to be able to get you that stuff sent to you. Now, that might not seem like a big deal for you until you start getting certain customers who mistake your home address or whatever address that you had put, whatever temporary address that you had put as your actual business address. Now, I made this mistake early on. I thought it wasn't a big deal, and I figured, hey, I'll change it later on. And I didn't hide my actual address, and it led me to ultimately having to deal with, I had people who they wanted to return certain products and they couldn't find my address for one reason or another. Or, for example, I sent them an email telling them where to send it, but they missed the address part and they thought they had to track down the address themselves. Next thing you know, they were Googling my address and were sending it to my apartment building, right? So I highly recommend that you do this from the offset, right? From the jump. That way you don't have to worry about dealing with any sort of those kind of things. Now, in terms of the first step, the first thing you're going to want to do is actually search your Secretary of State to make sure that whatever LLC name or whatever name of your business that you want is actually available. So what you can do, the easiest way to do this is just Google literally Secretary of State, and then you put your state at the end. So in my case, I would put Secretary of State, Texas, and Google search, and one of the first search results are going to be my Secretary of State website. Now, on your Secretary of State website, you're going to see that there's going to be an area where you can kind of try out and see what actual names are available. That's where you want to kind of just try out different iterations of your name or whatever business name that you want to use. Now, keep in mind, this is for your actual business name, not your, if you want to have a DBA or doing business as name, that's another filing that you're going to do later on, but this is going to be strictly for what the name of your corporation is going to be. Okay, so you want to try out different combinations or different names and see which one is actually available. Once you find a name that's available, go ahead and write it down because we're going to use it for an actual later step. Then what you want to do is you want to actually go sign up for a virtual address. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to include some of my top choices when it comes to virtual addresses down in the description below. Now, if you decide to click through one of our links, they do provide us a referral fee at no additional cost to you. Okay, so if you want to support the channel, you can just click one of the links, or if you don't want to support us, you can just Google search and I'm sure you'll find these companies with just a few clicks. Now, once you use one of the virtual addresses down below, they're actually going to have you, sign some actual paperwork that allows them to be able to receive mail on your behalf. Now, that paperwork, you want to fill that out after you've actually created the LLC, just to make sure that you're able to get the name and everything correct. Because I have found that sometimes with these virtual address companies, if the name doesn't match, they might not receive your mail, or they might receive your mail and not notify you that they got mail on your behalf because your name, the name you ended up using for your LLC whenever you filed with your Secretary of State, didn't match the name that you put whenever you first created the account. So you're going to want to fill that out after you've actually created the LLC. So now when it comes to actually creating your LLC, you can go about it one of two ways. If you want to do it yourself, you can actually go and try to do it through your Secretary of State website. So you'll go back to your website and there should be an area there that's going to say, allow you to create an LLC. Now, the cost of your LLC is going to depend. You can Google search that and be able to know how much it costs for LLC creation. There's usually some fee ranging from, let's say, like $75 all the way up to $500 or even $800, depending on your state. So what you can do is you can set that up completely from the Secretary of State website. If you'd prefer to have someone else do it just to make sure that you're not making any mistakes, I'll link down below to a LLC corporation creation company that I use that will actually do the whole process for you for free. Now, the dope thing about that is they're actually also going to give you a free registered agent services for a year. So there's two types of really addresses when it comes to your business. There's a office address, and that's why you usually get you sign up for virtual address services. That way you can use that as your office address. But there's also a registered agent address. Now, registered agent, it literally means just someone, an agent or a person that can actually take any type of official mail for your business. Okay, that can be things like tax documents, right? Maybe some companies sending you some tax forms that you're gonna need for whenever you do your taxes. Maybe you're gonna need legal paperwork, or maybe, for example, you're getting sued or something, right? Or you're getting a cease and desist, whatever the case may be. All those, you want to make sure that you have someone else receiving that. It's not you receiving that. And the reason why I say that is because it can be a situation where if you're putting yourself as a registered agent and you put your home address, right? That means that if someone wants to sue you, they'll have someone show up to your house or follow you around just to try to serve you the paperwork. It makes more sense for you to have a registered agent. I typically recommend you either use an attorney or you use an actual registered agent service that is gonna be diligent on that stuff, right? Because that's not something where you want to, that's the type of mail that you want to make sure you get as quick as possible. You don't want to, get tax forms late. You don't want to get any type of legal paperwork late, right? If a company's trying to sue you, you want to get that paperwork as fast as possible so you can start looking for your own representation and figuring out what your next move is. So that's what makes it so great with this service. This LLC service actually will have giving you registered agent services for a year for free. So that's gonna be pretty much the gist of it, guys. I'm gonna link to all the partners down below for you to be able to check out. Now, a few things that you want to kind of think about when it comes to virtual addresses. Most of the partners I'm gonna list down below are actually gonna be able to, they provide these services, but you want to kind of think about, do you just need an address to use, or are you looking for an address in a specific state? That can all depend. Maybe you are trying to run a business that it has to show that your business is in, Wyoming or North Dakota or New York or something, right? Then you want to make sure that you can find a virtual address that actually has an address out there for you to be able to use. Another thing that you want to look at is, how can you receive your mail or any type of mail that you might get, right? Do you need to be able to pick up the mail? You want the mail to be able to be forwarded to your house? Maybe you want it digitized so you can actually view it online. Those are all kinds of things that you want to look for whenever you're actually signing up for these services, right? Kind of things that you want to ask and be sure that you can have available if that's in your situation. Now, if I'm in Texas and then I want an address in New York, I'm probably not going to care too much about being able to pick up my mail, but I want to make sure that they can forward my mail to my house or at least digitize my mail, right? So those are kind of different services that you want to make sure that you're looking out for. Now, that's really the gist of it, guys. Just by you being on this video, I know that you're at least thinking about starting a business, or maybe you have a business and you're trying to, you're just kind of slowly hitting those building blocks and trying to build it up to something that's going to be substantial. Okay. So, like I always say, don't give up, right? Keep pushing. I will say one of the unpopular truths out there is you will fail, right? We're all going to fail. Anyone who you see who has a business that's been successful, whether it's someone who's has a 6-figure business or someone who has a $1 billion business, they're all going to tell you the same thing. You're going to fail at some point, right? That's guaranteed. The thing is, how do you recover from that? That's really what it is, right? Every time you fall down, are you going to be able to get back up, right? How many times can you fall down while getting back up? Okay, so I'm wishing you guys well. If you have any other questions when it comes to building a business, be sure that you throw it down in the comments down below. I'll be happy to answer them and possibly shoot videos on them depending on how complex the topic is. Now, if you're curious about how you can be able to have your own business phone and a professional email set up for less than $20, click this video here where I'm going to show you how to actually go about setting up this next part of your business. Alrighty, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. I appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.